Jerusalem has been at the heart of Jewish history and identity for millennia, serving as the spiritual and political center of Jewish life. Its significance is deeply rooted in biblical traditions, historical events, and religious practices that have made the city a symbol of the enduring covenant between God and the Jewish people. According to Jewish tradition, Jerusalem was chosen by King David around 1000 BCE to be the capital of the United Kingdom of Israel. David's choice of Jerusalem was not merely political but deeply spiritual, as he brought the Ark of the Covenant to the city, establishing it as the religious center of the Jewish people. Jerusalem's significance was further solidified when David's son, King Solomon, built the first temple on Mount Moriah. This temple became the central place of worship for the Israelites, where sacrifices were offered and major religious festivals were celebrated. The temple was seen as the earthly dwelling place of God, and its construction marked the beginning of Jerusalem's status as the holiest city in Judaism. Jerusalem's importance continued even after the destruction of the first temple by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. Although the city was left in ruins and many Jews were exiled, Jerusalem remained a powerful symbol of hope and divine promise. The Jewish people believed that God had promised them this land and that they would eventually return to it. This belief was realized when the Persian Empire allowed the Jews to return and rebuild the temple, leading to the construction of the Second Temple, which stood as the focal point of Jewish religious life until its destruction by the Romans in 70 CE. The destruction of the Second Temple was a devastating event in Jewish history, but it did not diminish the sacredness of Jerusalem. The Western Wall, a remnant of the Second Temple, became the holiest site in Judaism. Known in Hebrew as the Kotel, the Western Wall is the closest accessible site to the former Holy of Holies, the most sacred part of the temple where it was believed God's presence resided. For centuries, Jews have gathered at the Western Wall to pray, mourn the destruction of the temple, and express their longing for the restoration of Jerusalem as the spiritual heart of the Jewish people. Jerusalem's significance in Judaism extends beyond the Temple Mount. The city is mentioned repeatedly in the Hebrew Bible, and it is central to Jewish prayer and ritual. Jews around the world face Jerusalem during their daily prayers, and the city is referenced in blessings and religious texts. The phrase "next year in Jerusalem" is traditionally recited at the end of the Passover Seder, symbolizing the hope for the coming of the Messiah and the ultimate return to Jerusalem. This longing for Jerusalem reflects the deep connection Jews feel to the city, not just as a physical place but as a symbol of their spiritual aspirations and collective memory. Certain places within Jerusalem hold particular importance to Jews. The Mount of Olives, for example, is a significant site because it is believed to be the place where the resurrection of the dead will begin when the Messiah comes. It is also home to the oldest and most important Jewish cemetery in the world, where many prominent figures in Jewish history are buried. Another significant site is the City of David, the original settlement of Jerusalem, which is revered for its historical and biblical significance. In modern times, Jerusalem's importance to Judaism has only grown, particularly after the reunification of the city in 1967 during the Six-Day War. For the first time in nearly 2,000 years, Jews gained access to the Western Wall, and the city was placed under Jewish sovereignty. This event was seen by many as a fulfillment of biblical prophecy and a sign of the enduring connection between the Jewish people and Jerusalem. Today, Jerusalem is not only the political capital of the State of Israel but also the spiritual and cultural heart of the Jewish people worldwide. In essence, Jerusalem is much more than a city in Judaism. It is a symbol of faith, history, and identity. Its significance is woven into the fabric of Jewish religious life, representing the eternal bond between the Jewish people and their God. The city's sacred sites, particularly the Temple Mount and the Western Wall, continue to be focal points of Jewish worship and longing, embodying the hope for redemption and the fulfillment of God's promises.